If you thought the great fashion house creative director reset was dramatic, wait till you hear about what's happening with American department stores leading into this holiday season. In 2025, it's not just your typical Black Friday. It's a make or break moment that's dividing these retail giants into clear winners and potential losers. We've got massive mergers creating new luxury empires. We have stores going private to escape the Wall Street pressure. We have shoppers cutting their budgets by double digits. And there's only 26 shopping days between Black Friday and Christmas. Some department stores are thriving and some are barely surviving. Today, we're breaking down the state of every major department store going into this holiday season. We're going to talk about who's positioned to win, who's struggling, and exactly what's changing about the way we shop. And let's be clear, understanding this isn't just about retail. It's about reading the entire economy. So let's get into it. First, let's talk about what customers are actually doing this year. It's completely different than what consumers were doing last year. Holiday spending is down about 5% on average. This is the first major drop since 2020. That averages out to about $1,550 per person this year versus last year's $1,627 per person. And it gets even more specific. Gift spending is down about 11%, from about $815 last year to roughly about $720 this year. And here's what's really interesting. It's not hitting everybody equally. Gen Z shoppers are cutting their spending by 23%. Meanwhile, other generations are cutting their spending only by about 2 to 5%. Gen Z is dealing with early career pressures, a really tough job market, and zero savings. This group is the most price sensitive. And overall, 84% of customers said that they're going to cut their shopping over the next 6 months. This is specifically for dining out, clothing, and big ticket items. Consumers are value hunting like never before. And here's another factor that's adding pressure: all the new tariffs. The tariff situation alone could reduce spending by about $70 billion this year. Almost 90% of customers saying that they will adjust their shopping habits due to tariffs. And what that means practically is you might see certain categories have slight price increases to last year, especially on clothing, accessories, and home good categories that depend on imports. Retailers are desperately trying to absorb some of those costs, and we'll talk about that later in the video, but some of it still might be passed on to the consumer. And here's another challenge: the calendar. Thanksgiving falls on November 27th this year. That means that there's just 26 shopping days between Black Friday and Christmas compared to last year's 32 days. And customer surveys show that about 84% of shoppers are saying that they'll be done with their shopping by Cyber Monday. So here's what's happening. The middle is disappearing. Only 33% of shoppers are going to spend more than $1,000 this season. That's down from 45% last year. Meanwhile, 34% of shoppers saying that they're going to spend under $100. And that's up from 32% last year. So as you can see, less consumers are going to be spending over $1,000 and more consumers are going to be spending under $100. That leaves customers into two major camps. You have luxury shoppers who still have money, and then you have value shoppers who are hunting for a deal. The retailers stuck in the middle, well, they might be in trouble. Before we talk about where to shop luxury, let's talk about who actually owns the luxury space. These 5 conglomerates that I'm going to talk about own just about everything that you think of when you think about high-end fashion. And right now, they're making major moves. LVMH is the biggest player, and they're actively reshaping their portfolios right now. They own Louis Vuitton, Dior, Fendi, Celine, Marc Jacobs. Well, actually, let me correct that. Marc Jacobs is in the process of being sold right now as we speak. After 28 years under LVMH, they're selling it to Authentic Brands Group for $1 billion. That deal is expected to close very soon. And it's not just Marc Jacobs. LVMH is streamlining. They already sold off Off-White, Stella McCartney brought her brand back earlier this year. And here's the big one. LVMH is looking into selling off their 50% stake in Rihanna's beauty brand, Fenty Beauty. That deal could value at $2 billion. Why sell off? LVMH's sales dropped about 15% in the first half of 2025. What's their strategy now? To focus on the biggest moneymakers. That's Louis Vuitton, that's Dior, and that's Loro Piana. And alternatively, letting go of those contemporary brands that are not performing. When you shop luxury, there's a 40% chance that you're shopping LVMH, but they're getting pickier about which brands to keep in their portfolio. Now, Kering, who's the other major fashion house conglomerate, they own Gucci, Saint Laurent, Bottega Veneta, Balenciaga, Alexander McQueen. Remember the creative director reset video that we just did? So Demna moving from Balenciaga to the creative director seat at Gucci. Well, that's all under Kering. And another interesting to note about the beauty market, Kering just sold off its beauty division to L'Oreal. So they're making some strategic moves too. Richemont, who's the jewelry and watch powerhouse, they have Cartier, Van Cleef and Arpels, Montblanc, and Chloe. So if you're buying luxury accessories or timepieces, in most cases you're probably buying from Richemont. Then our last two have independent status. We have Hermes, that's still family owned, known for the Birkin bag, the Kelly bag, and those beautiful silk scarves. There's no conglomerate parent company. They're independent and they're thriving. We could do a whole separate video about Hermes's business model and how they stay relevant. Next is Chanel, which is also privately owned. They've been able to stay independent through decades of consolidation, and that's really a smart move because they answer to no one. Here's why this matters to your holiday shopping. These 5 entities control pricing, distribution, and which stores get access to their brands. And when department stores like Saks Global struggles with their vendor payments, brands like LVMH, Kering, Richemont, they can just pull their products and sell direct to the customer or through other competitors that are doing well like Nordstrom. That's why Saks and Neiman Marcus are fighting so hard to maintain these relationships. Lose access to Gucci, Dior, Cartier? At that point, you're no longer a luxury destination. The luxury conglomerates are consolidating power. They're shedding underperforming brands, and they're increasingly controlling their own distribution. What does that mean for department stores? They're losing their gatekeeper status. Now let's talk about these department stores themselves and how they're responding to these shifts. This sector is going through a massive upheaval. There's essentially 3 players in luxury department stores. You got Saks Global, you have Nordstrom's, and you have Bloomingdale's. In December of 2024, Hudson Bay Group, who's the owner of Saks Global, completed a $2.7 billion deal which acquired the Neiman Marcus Group, which includes Neiman Marcus and Bergdorf Goodman. They control, let me run this down, 38 Saks Fifth Avenue stores, 95 Saks Off Fifth outlets, 36 Neiman Marcus stores, 5 Neiman Marcus Last Call stores, and 2 Bergdorf Goodman stores. And they have Amazon as an investor providing the technology backbone. Like any major merger of this scale, integration comes with challenges, including vendor payment timing as they merge systems and processes. But one good thing that I have to give them credit for is that the CEO, Marc Jacobs, has been transparent with brand partners on what the schedule of payments will look like during this transition period. And timing is critical because remember what we talked about. LVMH and Kering is actively streamlining their portfolio. They can partner exclusively with stronger performing stores, or they can pull their brands entirely. However, there is hope. Bringing together these iconic luxury brands creates the potential for shared resources, better technology infrastructure with the help of Amazon, and a more comprehensive luxury portfolio. Now let's talk about Nordstrom, which is showing strong momentum heading into the holiday season. In the first quarter of 2025, Nordstrom has shown some impressive growth. Overall store visits are up at about 3.3%, and average visits per location is up 4%. They've been steadily gaining customer traffic while maintaining their luxury position. Back in December 2024, the same day as the Saks Global merger, the Nordstrom family completed their $6.25 billion buyout. Going private offers lots of advantages. They have the freedom from quarterly Wall Street pressure. They'll have the ability to invest in long-term and short-term strategies. They also have the flexibility to experiment with new formats without short-term earning concerns. Their three-pillared approach is the Nordstrom Rack expansion, digital excellence. They're really going after the omni-channel experience using digital, being able to utilize BOPs, so that's buy online and pick up in store, and to be able to check the app for inventory. They're also leading with a brand first strategy, making sure that they are leading with brands that customers love and truly focusing on quality and curation over constant discounting. Nordstrom is well positioned for the holiday. Bloomingdale's is another one that's delivering consistent results. It's owned by Macy's, but it operates independently with its own brand identity. In Q1, store visits were up almost 3%. Their customer base tends to be more affluent shoppers, those who are more insulated from inflation and economic pressures. And Bloomingdale's has maintained strong vendor relationships. They continue to serve that luxury customer with steady, reliable service. Each of these three retailers brings something very different to the table. Nordstrom's strong operational momentum, private ownership flexibility, and expanding their Nordstrom Rack footprint. Bloomingdale's has consistent performance, an affluent customer base, and independent operations. Saks Global, on the other hand, has integration opportunities, combined scale, and an evolving luxury portfolio. All three will be competing for that luxury customer this holiday season. Now, let's talk about where most Americans will actually shop this holiday season. Because remember, 84% of those customers said that they're going to be cutting back on their spending. This is where the real holiday battle is happening, and it's getting a little scary. The off-price winners, without a doubt, is Nordstrom Rack and Macy's Backstage. Nordstrom Rack is absolutely crushing it. They have a 13% growth. They're opening 22 new stores this year. And why are they killing it? It's the same brands at Nordstrom, just 30 to 70% off. Macy's Backstage is also preparing for growth. They just opened 7 new locations in June. Here's where there's an advantage. The Backstage locations are within the Macy's stores. And let's be clear, these aren't cheap stores. These are smart shopping stores. And this is actually perfect for that Gen Z customer who's cutting their spending by 34%. We're finding that in that category, Gen Z shoppers are moving away from fast fashion and looking for more quality just at a great price. Then there's mid-tier retailers, so that's your JCPenney's, your Belks, and your Kohl's. Successful retailers in this space are leaning decisively into value messaging. All right, now let's look at the big picture. Who's well positioned for success this holiday season? Who's facing challenges? And what are the trends that are shaping how we shop? What we can summarize is that the retail landscape is serving two distinct customers: the luxury shopper, that 33% that said that they're going to spend more than $1,000, the value shopper, that's that 34% that said that they're going to spend under $100. The luxury shopper, they're going to continue to invest in quality and experiences. The value shopper, that 34% of consumers who said that they're going to spend under $100, they are being strategic with budgets and they're hunting for smart deals and savings. And here's the exciting part. Retailers are innovating to be able to serve both better than ever before. You have more choices, better technology, and smarter shopping experiences. Here's how shopping behavior is changing. First of all, holiday shopping starts in October, which is now, today. 2/3 of consumers started shopping before Black Friday. The whole idea of this Black Friday kickoff is dead. Deals are happening all month. Mobile commerce continues to dominate. 69% of online purchases happen on a phone. So if you're a retailer and your mobile checkout sucks, sorry to tell you, but you're not going to make it. Omni-channel is mandatory. Shoppers are browsing TikTok. They're looking at Google reviews. They're doing buy online, pick up in store. Any of those retailers that have that seamless integration are going to win this season. And Nordstrom excels here. Saks Global, not so much. AI shopping assistants. Consumers are using ChatGPT and AI tools to compare pricing across stores. Transparency is going to matter. Retailers are not going to be able to hide bad deals anymore. Everyone's being exposed. Oh, and of course, there's buy now, pay later, which drove almost $700 million last Black Friday. Gen Zs and millennials need flexible payment options. And lastly, which I think is a big statistic, is that most shoppers, 80% of shoppers are saying they're going to be done by Cyber Monday. With only 26 shopping days and 80% of the budgets already being spent by December 1st, that means retailers must win Thanksgiving weekend. There aren't going to be any second chances. All right, so we covered the retail landscape going into this holiday season. But here's the exciting part: you have more options and better tools than ever before. I'm going to share some ways that you can make the most of your holiday shopping experience. Number one, shop early for the best selections. Start right now. Retailers are offering deals earlier than ever before to capture early shoppers. You'll have better selections and you can avoid the rush. Plus, many stores are offering price matching if things go on sale later, so keep your receipts. Don't be afraid for off price for luxury brands. If you're an adventurous shopper, sometimes you can find some really exclusive brands at really great prices. Buy online and pick up in store is going to be your best friend. This way, you'll avoid shipping fees and you don't have to worry about watching the delivery calendar to make sure your gifts arrive on time. Plus, you can see other items in person so that you can make sure your gifting is perfect. Leverage those AI price comparison tools. There's plenty of um, browser extensions, there's different apps that allow you to compare pricing across retailers. Knowledge is power. Using AI, you can be confident that you're getting the best deals. Take advantage of flexible payment options. Buy now, pay later through platforms like Affirm, Afterpay, Zip, Klarna. Just make sure you're tracking your commitments across all your retailers and that you're sticking to your budget. Those little payments can creep up on you really quickly. And if you're going to shop luxury, shop direct for some of those exclusives. Those luxury store conglomerates that we talked about, brands under LVMH, Kering, and Richemont, often they offer exclusives online that you can only find in their stores. And I'm not going to get into a whole fast fashion conversation. We can save that for another day. I would recommend that you focus on cost per wear, not just price. I'd rather you spend a little bit more money on an item that you're going to wear 100 times versus an item that you spend $20 on that you only wear once or twice. And join loyalty programs. A lot of the retailers that I mentioned have Macy's has Star Rewards. There's Saks First program. Bloomingdale's, I know because I'm always on it. Currently, they're running a 25% off in app only discount. So definitely sign up for those rewards. Download those apps because there's a lot of deals that are unlocked just by being a loyal customer. Beware of slight price adjustments due to the tariffs. You might see some price increases to some of your favorite items that you bought last year. So just be conscious of that. And last but not least, allocate your budget thoughtfully. When you're buying gifts for your loved ones, prioritize quality over quantity. Sometimes it's better to have one good gift than a bunch of gifts to just fill up the Christmas tree. Allocate some of that budget to experiences. Those memories last longer than material things. I wouldn't be a Taurus if I didn't say it. Get a little something for yourself. Self care is important. With everything that's going on in the world, mental health is A1 priority. And if you can get yourself a little something to make yourself feel a little bit better, then I say go for it. Ultimately, the bottom line is you're in control. Retailers are competing for your business. That means better deals, more options, and innovative shopping experiences. This is actually a great time to be a shopper. Take advantage of the competition and shop with confidence. Shop where you feel comfortable, where you get good service, and where the value makes sense for your budget. I'm going to say that again. Where the value makes sense for your budget. That's different for everybody, and that's okay. Which stores are you going to be shopping this holiday season? Share your holiday shopping plans in the comments. I'd love to hear from you guys. Oh, and most importantly, hit the subscribe button. And I'll be back in February to go over holiday shopping results. I'll be looking at which retailers had great seasons, which strategies work, and what that means for 2026 forward. Thanks so much for watching. I hope with this video you got some knowledge on what's happening in the retail space, and I hope that the shopping tips are helpful and you guys have an amazing holiday season.